An unlucky cultivator got eaten by a dragon, but instead of dying, he became immortal. Plus, every time he takes damage, it transfers to a smaller dragon. Poisoned? The divine dragon's got his back. Attacked? The divine dragon's his bodyguard. Since then, the duo's been out for revenge, but the one getting hurt is the divine dragon swallowed, but still getting payback. Talk about bad luck. So, yesterday, boss Hắc Hân just got dumped by his girlfriend at work. That shady girl drained all his savings and then wanted to mess with him. Seeing him heartbroken, the boss bought him a drink to cheer him up, but turns out, she slipped a sedative into the drink and kidnapped him to Cambodia, not to charge his phone, but to sacrifice him to the divine dragon. Facing a dragon that wants to eat him, this reckless cultivator wasn't backing down. You kinda stink. Mind brushing your teeth before you eat me? Hearing that, the divine dragon turned purple with rage, deciding to slowly chew off Hắc Hân's legs so he'd feel every bit of pain. Hắc Hân struggled, yelling for it to stop. The dragon was loving his reaction. Begging now? Too late for that. But the cultivator threw a jab back like a slap. I've got athlete's foot, so your breath's only gonna get worse. That means when I'm in your mouth, I'll be smelling both your stinky breath and my rotten feet. Surprised by this bold move, the divine dragon got furious and snapped its drooling jaws right at him. Hắc Hân gritted his teeth, his eyes bloodshot and blazing, the mark on his hand suddenly glowing bright. The dragon swallowed him whole except for the arm with the glowing mark. At that moment, a strange message appeared. Asterisk. Bloodline suppression activated. Life, death curse, asterisk. The death rule hits enemies who kill your friends, and the life rule makes the enemy share the same pain and damage as you. As long as the cursed body isn't dead, it can always be resurrected. A loud shout rang out, signaling a fresh start. Hắc Hân, what nonsense are you spouting? At that moment, Hắc Hân snapped awake, standing in the classroom. The teacher on the podium sternly scolded him. I told you to recite the 7th body refinement technique, but what's all this life and death nonsense? Did you take too many body cultivation pills and start hallucinating? The class burst into laughter. Meanwhile, in the teacher's office, a curious female teacher asked, Mr. Zarn, I heard your class just got a transfer student. He tilted his head and replied, That's right. She continued, If he made it into your advanced class, he must have some serious talent. Otherwise, with your standards, average students wouldn't even get noticed. He smiled brightly, pulling open a drawer. That kid. Inside was a thick stack of cash. Seeing it made him even happier, definitely something special. He thought to himself, asterisk. Anyway, he probably won't pass the first month's exam, so this money's not wasted. Asterisk. Back in class, the laughter kept going, and someone mocked Hắc Hân directly. Teacher, with his skills, even if he drinks himself to death, it's just a joke. He didn't feel offended by the insults. Instead, he smirked and looked up confidently. I'm cultivating immortality, no need for talent. What do you say, big guy upstairs? The scene shifted inside the vast school. Hắc Hân sat quietly in class, his face thoughtful, deep in contemplation. After being killed by that dragon, he woke up in his bed. But his spiritual root had been dormant for 20 years and suddenly awakened. He couldn't help but recall the mocking words of Vung Vor, even though he didn't get into a proper cultivation university. Still, he was the last bloodline of a declining cultivation world, which made him question his own thoughts. Strange, why do I keep thinking about what she said? But he wasn't angry enough to just hand the homeroom teacher 50,000 yuan to get into the class. While lost in thought, a foot slammed hard on his desk with total boss energy. Sis Thien smirked proudly and mocked. Hey, new transfer student, let me school you on the class rules. Every week, you owe me at least 1 body cultivation pill, 1 chi restoration elixir, and 1 body enhancement potion. All top quality. Seeing him act like that made the other students whisper. Look, Chung Treebox teaching the newbie the ropes. The girl next to them nodded thoughtfully. This is gonna be good. Unlike Sis Thien's bossy attitude, Hắc Hân stayed super calm and asked, Why do I have to give you these? And why are you stepping on my desk? This guy's not just fearless, he's gotta school me too. This is my turf, I step where I want. Plus, I usually move from top to bottom floors, unlike you cowards who only take the stairs. After saying that, Sis Thien, clearly annoyed by Hắc Hân, warned, If you don't hand it in before school ends this Friday afternoon, I'll nail you to the electric pole in front of the school as a warning to everyone. He casually stuck one leg out, didn't even respect Sis Thien, stomped hard on Hắc Hân's desk, then walked off. That whole move made Hắc Hân so mad he couldn't hold back anymore. Without hesitation, Hắc Hân jumped up and shoved the guy hard, sending him sprawling outside. No matter how many lives Sis Thien's had, she never expected this to happen. The guy screamed in despair as Sis Thien face-planted right in front of everyone watching. A thick cloud of dust rose, and all the other students watching from the windows were shocked. whispering excitedly, "No way." He literally smashed his face into the ground. The technique he's training must be some high-level art. He won't die from that. What a beast. If he died, my rank would go up a notch. After falling, Sistheon left a dent in the ground. Everyone thought he'd be hurt bad enough for the hospital. But nope, he suddenly jumped up, pointed forward, and shouted, "Don't run after school, I'll break your legs." Hearing Sistheon's threat, the classmates got super worried and warned Hắc Hân. "You're screwed, man. Trungtree Butt is a notorious bully in this class. He's never lost, his family's a cultivation powerhouse in the city, and his martial arts skills are insane." One even added, "A student who crossed him before got their house wrecked and got beaten to death." Hắc Hân just silently listened to all this. Sure, he might dodge the first day, but no way he escapes the 15th, a friendly heads up. After class, it's best to avoid Koki Alley or just go home, since that's where they usually hang out. Evening came fast, and Hắc Hân quickly strode down the main road. He soon arrived at the agreed spot, eyeing the alert about Koki Alley and paying close attention. On the other side, two of Sistheon's underlings were confused, constantly discussing the situation with him. "Boss, do we really need 3 people to handle just one transfer student? You don't get it. That guy's just a normal troublemaker, no special powers. Boss could crush him with one hand, but if Boss does it himself, it's embarrassing. So he left it to us to deal with him." While they were still arguing, Sistheon went silent. Thinking about what Hắc Hân had done only made him angrier. That brat's probably stalling out of fear, trying to figure out how to get past this alley. But no worries, I've got people everywhere he can't escape. The underling gave a thumbs up, agreeing Boss was right. Before he could finish, a voice rang out. "Who said I want to run?" That confused the underling, who slowly turned to look behind. Turns out, Hắc Hân wasn't running at all. He calmly stepped right up to the 3 of them. Seeing him there shocked them so much they couldn't believe it. He came here on purpose. "You know you can't escape, so you're just gonna take it like a man, huh?" Sistheon said. But seeing Hắc Hân's calm face made him feel something was off. This kid didn't look scared at all. What the hell did he take? Is he one of those fake weaklings hiding real power? Realizing these guys only talk big, Hắc Hân coldly raised his hand, challenging them all. A bunch of idiots blocking someone but too scared to stand at the school gate, choosing some dead-end alley to ambush instead. You know walking here takes energy, right? Come on, I'll take you all on. Hearing his trash talk, the long-haired guy got so pissed he couldn't hold back. "You little punk, what did you just say?" Without wasting words, he launched a deadly kick straight at Hắc Hân. "I'm gonna stomp you out." A loud crash echoed as Hắc Hân slammed back hard, cracking the pavement. The others got even cockier, mocking, "What? So weak? You were all talk earlier, is that it?" Watching him get hit non-stop, Sistheon sighed, trying to calm himself. "So much for being tough, I overestimated him." The long-haired guy quickly stepped over to Sistheon lying on the ground and declared, "That was a 5th-stage martial artist's kick. All your internal organs are shattered. You won't last much longer." Hắc Hân's entire body ached to the bone, blood continuously spilling from his mouth, yet he showed no fear. Not even a bit of pain. "You call that a 5th-stage body cultivation? Sounds more like a scared clown punching a bag hundreds of times with no strength." The long-haired guy sneered, grinding his teeth in anger. "This rookie, I'm done holding back until you're dead." Han coldly kicked straight at Hắc Hân's head. "Time to blow your head off." Just as the long-haired guy was about to kick Hắc Hân, he suddenly sensed something was off. Even the spiky-haired dude nearby froze, staring blankly as the long-haired guy's leg flew through the air. Maybe the most terrified was Sister Thien, mouth agape in disbelief. Feeling pain radiate through his body, the long-haired guy screamed in desperate rage. Seeing Han cry out in agony only made Hắc Hân smirk and taunt. "Looks like you're a shrimp with no legs now." While he was sizing them up, a white-haired beauty suddenly appeared, smiling as she declared, "Found you." The sudden appearance of this woman caught Sister Thien and the spiky-haired guy completely off guard. This time, Sister Thien realized she'd messed with the wrong person, and nervously stepped back. What kind of technique lets someone blink right in front of you, then this girl just pops up out of nowhere? While he was still confused, the spiky-haired guy grabbed his weapon and charged at the beautiful girl. Sensing danger, Sister Thien quickly shouted a warning to her team. "Hey, don't use your finishing move here, you'll flatten the whole place." A massive explosion erupted as the self-sword killing technique detonated, filling the area with thick smoke and darkness, blocking all vision. Even Sister Thien grew cautious facing this power and cursed her dumb teammate. "You idiot, you just wrecked the neighborhood. Wait till the old man at home finds out, he'll blow a fuse." Through the smoky haze, 2 figures appeared. The spiky-haired guy's face turned pale with fear. Not just the spiky-haired guy, Sister Thien was frozen in shock too. The white-haired woman took a hit but seemed completely fine. Instead, she glared at her attacker like she wanted to devour him alive. In a peaceful floating oasis, Shenlong and Launhak were playing Go. The game was halfway through, evenly matched. Launhak placed a black stone and asked Shenlong why he always chose to appear in human form. Calmly, he replied, "Anyone who wants to follow the strict rules of the Heavenly Palace must take human form. Otherwise, you'd end up like you bird's head, human body." Surprised, Launhak noticed Shenlong's annoyance and teased. "What's with that look? Got a problem?" Panicked, Launhak said. "No sir, you're bleeding." Shenlong waved him off disdainfully. "Ha, what nonsense. The last time I bled was 100 years ago. With my invincible body, how's that possible?" Suddenly, blood sprayed from Shenlong's shoulder, shocking them both. Launhak muttered, "That's some serious bleeding." Shenlong cast a blood-stopping spell, then took off into the sky, saying, "Brother Hack, I'm off." Lao waved back. "If you head to the mortal realm, don't forget to report to the immortal palace." As he flew away from the floating island, Shenlong's cold eyes turned a powerful red. While stopping the bleeding, he angrily said, "I scanned with my divine sense, it's a death curse, and even my powers can't break it. That curse must have fallen on someone in the mortal world. I have to find that bastard." The scene shifted to a house burning fiercely under the sunset sky. Smoke rose high, carrying dust particles. The houses were badly damaged. In the middle of a small district was a pale yellow barrier. Inside the barrier, men lay sprawled in a shallow pit. Water stains scattered as if something spilled. A burly, rough-looking man muttered. Facing a finishing move from a peak stagnation realm expert head-on, and still standing at the moment of attack, he had activated a defensive barrier, protecting the buildings from damage. This cultivator's power far surpassed his own. Shenlong's cold gaze fixed on him as he said, "It's been a while since I fought a low-level cultivator like you. I forgot how weak you all really are. Or maybe you guys are still way weaker than when I first started. Turns out he's Sisbach." Suddenly, he shouted, "Hey, get away from her." Shenlong just turned around, and a guy standing behind exploded, leaving no body behind. A cold glare swept over Sisbach, making him blink in panic. He fell back, clearly unable to believe his eyes. Why? Why can't I see her move? Yet that guy got wrecked. She's about to charge at me. What do I do? My legs are jelly. We're cooked. Just then, Black Han appeared. He slipped right in front of Shenlong but showed no surprise, calmly saying, "Honestly, kinda shocked to see the guy I ate alive come back." Black Han thought to himself, "Asterisk, so it really is you, changing your look so I didn't recognize you for half a year, that rotten dragon." Asterisk, Shenlong exposed him. "That seal of yours just latches onto people and sucks their blood, right? Hurry up and break it for me, or else you're dead." He laughed through his teeth. "Sorry, I don't know how to remove it." Hearing this, Shenlong grabbed his legs and dragged him hard across the cold ground. A loud punch echoed as the impact left a dent in the concrete. He yelled angrily, "Break it now. Got it? Got it? Got it." Sisbach stood nearby, terrified. "This girl's scary, she even hits her own people when mad." Suddenly, Shenlong spat out a mouthful of Surdodao. The drops hit the ground, leaving eerie streaks. He cursed Black Han angrily. "The more you beat my people, the worse I get hurt. This is pointless. If this keeps up, it's just a boring, endless loop." Shenlong looked up to the sky, muttering to himself, Asterisk. "Better head back first. I'll find a way to break this." Asterisk. Suddenly, a voice rang out, "Wait up." He glanced at Black Han, feeling helpless. This guy actually came back to life. The seal's effect is seriously broken. He teased, "Since you ate me last time, isn't it fair I come collect some dues?" Shenlong asked, "You're the first to talk to me like that. What do you want?" He grinned playfully. "I want to become a god." Shenlong cursed angrily. "Drop that wish. What if I do? If you refuse, I'll soak myself in sulfuric acid, dying and coming back, bleeding like crazy." Shenlong snapped back. "You dare threaten me? Then I'll just completely seal you, then figure out how to break the seal later. I've got time." He explained coldly. "You think I can't handle this deadly move? Let's see about that." Then Shenlong unleashed his divine technique, a blinding red light engulfing him, making him radiate power and dominance. Shenlong was surprised. "This is..." He tossed Black Han a book, then walked away, saying, "Becoming a god in one step? Impossible. Here's a basic technique for you, train it slowly. It's perfect for someone without talent like you. Can't guarantee you'll ascend, but at least you'll get into a good school and never worry about food or clothes." The book was titled Asterisk, Preemptive Technique, Asterisk, with a black cover adorned with green gems. He took it and said in awe, "Judging by the name, this technique sounds intense. Just punching won't beat enemies. Leveling up your cultivation is the real deal." Shenlong sneered, "Idiot. Nothing's free for you before I wipe you out. He laughed wickedly. Gotta drain all your value first. Meanwhile, Sis Bach hugged a pillar, silently chanting, I do not exist. I do not exist, to reduce her presence. Black panicked, seeing Shen Long staring at her. He's watching me. Time to make a move? This time, I'm definitely done for. But he said casually, I'm too lazy to step on ants that don't block my way. But today, you gotta forget all this. A leader flew up to Sis Bach, shouting, I don't want to die. Sis Bach's classmate? Suddenly, the gym teacher stepped up to warn, no going crazy in the exam room. Please control yourself. He forgot everything that happened. What happened yesterday? Why can't I remember anything? My head's a mess. What should I do today? In a schoolyard full of students, he announced. Today is the first exam of the new semester. I hope all students give their best. For those weak ones, the school will consider expulsion. Pointing arrogantly, then Kian shouted excitedly. First test, physical training assessment. The test starts now. Live for me, all of you. Hắc Hân stood in the middle of the gym complaining. First week of school and already a test? We haven't learned anything these past few days. Dao Zhan replied. That's how 12th grade is. Everything you need to know was taught in the previous 2 years. Plus you didn't sign up for the extracurricular class A. He asked, extracurricular class? Of course, all the time is spent on extracurriculars. 12th grade is all about exams, ranking, and motivation. No way, if you didn't register for Class A, you're screwed for this test, Dao Zhan explained. Then he turned to talk to Ngo Map. No Map, your spot in the top 3 of high school is about to be lost. The chubby guy asked in surprise. Why? Because that dumb transfer student didn't even sign up for extra classes. Everyone around burst out laughing at Hắc Hân. Dao Zhan suddenly pondered. Honestly, I can't figure out why Boss Hung Tan, who's tight with Sister Bach, would let this slide. At the same time, Sister Bach looked this way, thinking, I remember having a grudge with that kid, so why am I letting him off? 2 usual lackeys who follow her. One got beaten up by someone, the other died from blood loss. Feels like something terrible happened. Suddenly, Teacher Doan started the first test. Penetration. Class 7 cast a shield spell to test destructive penetration power. Now, Sister Bach will demonstrate. Watching Sister Bach confidently step up, he thought proudly, my top student, show the class what you've got. He stepped forward, unleashed a powerful strike at the yellow spear. The ground shook. Dust and rocks flew everywhere. The spear sliced through, piercing 5 concrete walls ahead. Don Qian announced the result with satisfaction. 5 concrete walls, each 1 meter thick. In his head, he thought proudly, no wonder she's the school's top physical cultivator, almost on my level now. The girls behind had hearts in their eyes, shouting, Sister Bach, master of physical training, Sister Bach, strongest in school. Yet he was scared of some invisible threat, not sure why, even though he was so outstanding. Black Dao Zhan said, so impressed, yet Hắc Hân is still chill. Is this result really that strong? He was surprised, then lectured him. Damn, bro. He's the most recognized in our class. Hopes rely solely on physical training, can get direct admission to Herb Chow Cultivation University. He explained at length. This test reflects his explosive, destructive ability. Whether he's using physical training or chi cultivation, the score depends on how many walls he penetrates. Most in the first month of 12th grade only pierce 2 or 3 walls. His 5-wall score is way ahead, solidly first place. Teacher Doan continued calling names. Next was Ngofi, a chubby guy stepping forward. He spread his legs wide, threw an iron ball hard forward. The ball hit the wall, stuck halfway through. Thanks to some leftover momentum, it barely passed. Ngofi stopped, excitedly said, It went through. It went through. Looking at the hole, he happily said, oh, jumping and cheering. I passed. The teacher continued reading. Next was the transfer student, whom he despised. That old homeroom teacher must be mistaken. Why accept this guy? He's a burden. Watch me kick him out today. Dao Zhan sadly patted Hắc Hân's shoulder. You're doomed. If you can't even pierce 1 wall, you'll be forced to drop out. Looks like this is our last chat. Good luck. Hắc Hân stepped forward, eyes blazing like a divine dragon, fulfilling the Hatming Chung Tumloi technique. Don Qian asked puzzled, why barehanded? Planning to mold a weight with your hands? Weird. We have a top student who can create objects from thin air. The crowd behind laughed loudly. Even Sister Bach Mia Mai said, not bad. A hidden dragon like this. Teacher A's senior title is solid. Suddenly, a fireball formed in his palm. Hắc Hân stretched, ready to throw it as far as possible. He swung powerfully, using his strength and agility to hurl the fireball forward. The red orb streaked ahead, trailing flickering sparks. An infinite force surged, as if tearing space apart. It pierced dozens of walls fiercely, seemingly unstoppable. Don Qian shouted in shock. Unbelievable, it pierced all the walls. Don't tell me it can even break through the school's outer barrier. The fireball streaked through the last wall, shot beyond the barrier, leaving only faint dust clouds floating. He wiped sweat from his face. Luckily, it lost momentum. Teacher Don thought fearfully, but even so, this record shattered all previous students' scores. Plus, Hat Min Trung Tum Loi's technique, first time seeing that form. The explosive power when throwing the lightning, even senior cultivators rank it high. A Chi training card reaching this level? This kid is truly a natural-born genius. A cute girl, who used to seem so average, now looks pretty handsome. What's up with that? One kid even tried to scare him. With talent like this, he's on par with last batch's prodigies. He might not have shown it before, but now he's definitely from some big sect. Go Fi thought in disappointment, still stuck at the bottom of the class, while Greenhead was wide-eyed, thinking, I was laughing loud earlier, now I'm probably cooked. Suddenly, the school bell rang, signaling the end of class. Ngo Fi forced a smile like he'd swallowed poison. Seeing this, Hắc Hân reluctantly asked, What's wrong? You look like you aged 50 years. He smirked. Well, I was practically blind this morning. Then he raised both hands in a military salute. If you ever need me, just call, bro. Hearing that, Hắc Hân shrugged it off. Yeah, we'll see later. I'm kinda in a rush. After a while, smoke rose and Hắc Hân disappeared. Greenhead looked down from the railing, sighed, and hurried back to training. His beast lover was definitely putting in way more effort than him. Evening fell in a dimly lit alley. Hắc Hân dashed like the wind, angrily cursing the divine dragon in his heart. I knew that rotten dragon had no good intentions, giving me a book for a wolf-hearted trickster. At the same time, the system announced, Noticed you added cultivation for Huck Min's Thunderheart technique. If not completed on time, penalties apply. 1. Reduced cultivation. 2. Decreased effectiveness of blood dragon suppression. Hắc Hân rushed home and slammed the door shut. The hero rummaged through boxes. Damn, where did that technique book go? Is it online? Maybe I should just skim the last few pages and rush the technique. Hắc Hân held his head in regret. What was my previous cultivation step? The fastest online delivery is tomorrow, definitely too late. Suddenly, an idea sparked. I can buy the ebook. After scrolling through pages, Hắc Hân screamed, So expensive. His piercing yell shattered the silent night, making neighbors angrily shout, What's all that noise above? Can people get some sleep? Got to wake up early for cultivation tomorrow. But Hắc Hân had no time to care, eyes glued to his phone. This tens of thousands of dong just drained my wallet. Now the price is ridiculous? Even killing acquaintances isn't this costly. Just then, the countdown showed 8 hours, 31 minutes, 24 seconds left. He nervously decided, Time's ticking. If I don't buy now, even the full time won't be enough to train. Just gave 50K to the blackmailing class rep, now this. Instantly, his phone beeped, paid 200,000 dong, remaining balance 3,372.29 dong. After buying, Hắc Hân headed to a nearby mountain. With just over 6 hours left, he used the time to sleep and absorb basics. At 3 hours remaining, he woke to push his chi. He trained all afternoon, boosting strength until only an hour remained. In the quiet forest, only the sound of his swift strikes echoed. Moments later, the tree stumps Hắc Hân trained on were riddled with holes. When the countdown hit 32 seconds, the system announced, Congratulations, cultivation compensation complete. He arrogantly eyed the ground and smirked. Huh, that's it? Too easy. Suddenly, a strange sensation hit, making Hắc Hân dizzy, heart pounding. Then he fainted, collapsing to the ground. Scene shifts to a strange floating island in midair. The mansion was silent. Only a faint light flickered in one room. Thick steam filled the bathroom. From the steam emerged a shapely figure bathing. The divine dragon had transformed into human form, casually humming. Suddenly, blood splattered from his head, startling him. Blood stained the tub. The divine dragon angrily said, The immortal bamboo water I just refined. He pushed the water aside to see Hắc Hân unconscious. He immediately realized the guy had overexerted during cultivation compensation and collapsed. Feeling pity, he said, Trash. I only added some limits during compensation, and you can't handle it. Hắc Hân's stamina was huge but still kept rising. Scene shifts to a week before 12th grade started, where students gathered around the ranking board. Boss, class placement test, you're in the top 10 now. The top 10 board showed Trung Tri Bach. He looked at it arrogantly. Just from physical training, I'm top 10 inches the honors class. The smart kids here aren't much better. Suddenly, the girl next to him gasped, making the guy beside scold. What's with the panic? She said, something big happened. She pointed at the ranking board. Ngomarp isn't number 1 in the countdown. Indeed, No Fee had moved up to second place in the countdown. Looking at the last name on the board, Sisbach sneered with contempt. That newbie who just transferred in? Time to crank up the difficulty for the new guy again? But coming back to reality now, staring at that ranking board made him turn pale. From 42nd place before, Hắc Hân had jumped up to 33rd, surprising Bashkin. This kid only boosted his total score to top 10 based on the last single test result. He was zoning out when the guy next to him reminded, "Boss, the second test is about to start, let's go." Everyone had gathered in the physical room waiting for the test. The contestants trembled non-stop, sweating buckets from fear. Just as one got distracted, a slap landed hard on his cheek, making him spit blood. His body reacted violently, flipping straight onto the floor. Zhuangqian wasn't worried at all and ordered the staff, "Quick, take him to the medical room. Dr. Tongziu Huisuan can save him." Watching the brutal test just now, Hắc Hân asked Dozan, "What kind of test was that?" He immediately replied, "It was a gravity and endurance test, compared to the previous penetration test. A new day was Trung Trebok's specialty, especially training his stamina technique, which he was super proud of. Rumor had it no teammate could break it." On the arena floor, Trier Deke Kai appeared, and Trebok threw down a challenge. This guy was said to have the strongest support among the team. "Today, I'll prove my stamina technique is stronger." For the first time shocked like this, Dich Kai angrily swung his fist. "I'll make you pay for your arrogance. Stamina break. Immediately, a devastating punch blasted toward Trebok. The power was so OP smoke billowed everywhere, and the crowd fell silent. Trier Deke Kai thought this would be like every other time, glory and shock. Stamina technique was just a hype. As he finished speaking, he went all out. From the smoke, Trebok stepped out, and the guy panicked. "You? How are you still standing?" Trebok's cheeks were swollen as he raised his hand. "Stamina break my ass." Immediately, Dich Kai, following the Han's right-hand rule, fell flat on the ground. Duankirn arrived to check and ordered, "Take him to the medical room, next up." But before he finished, Trebok cut in. "Wait, call Hắc Hân down here." Hắc Hân had no clue about this, chatting with Dozan about the origin technique and elite copyrighted techniques. He was explaining that after this incident, Dozan finally understood what Sung Ho meant by proper conduct. "Right. Techniques mostly split into two types. Isn't that common knowledge?" "Bro, where did you go to 10th and 11th grade?" Hắc Hân answered. "At Thir Tam High." Hearing this, Dozan suddenly got it and stammered, "Oh, that high school isn't cultivation focused. Your basic knowledge is kinda lacking." He continued clearing up his doubts. "See, the origin technique. Is an early technique open to society. Anyone can train it. Copyrighted techniques require permission and rights. Only owners and authorized users can train them. Unauthorized cultivation leads to severe consequences, even clan extermination." He absorbed the new info while thinking about the two guys earlier. The original copyrighted stamina break from Bach Learn Kung. But cultivators wanting to break through copyrights aren't easy either, since copyrighted techniques have high cultivation thresholds and difficulty. Below, Duankirn was using basic magic to repair the floor, which looked brand new in no time. He looked up at Hắc Hân and ordered, "Hắc Hân, come down." Following Duankirn's command, he stepped onto the arena where Hắc Hân and Trebok were about to duel. Facing him, Trebok was nervous. "What's this? Every time I see this guy, I get anxious, even though I only lost one round." Trebok tensed his arm muscles determinedly. "But if I beat him today, I'll hold my ground." Seeing time drag on, Hắc Hân demanded, "No need for one-on-one rounds anymore, let's just fight straight up." Trebok blushed from the challenge and retorted, "Don't get cocky." Hắc Hân immediately used his usual move, already unleashing stamina break Trebok sneered, using the same move. "You want to use that origin technique to duel me?" Instantly, their arms aligned parallel, closing in with each other's left cheeks, both unleashing stamina break Seeing this for the first time, Duankirn couldn't hide his calm anymore, that was. But Hắc Hân quickly got hit by Trebok. Unfortunately for Trebok, Hắc Hân's slap exploded with power, shattering his teeth. Finally, Trebok was blasted away like a tornado, crashing straight into the arena wall. The wall dented deeply, and Trebok lay still inside the crater. Everyone in the room was speechless. Duankirn glared at the wall. Yes, he wasn't mistaken, his origin stamina break was real, but at the moment he slapped Trung Trebok, He added a bit of asterisk asterisk stamina break asterisk asterisk on top of the asterisk asterisk origin technique asterisk asterisk. Forgetting the high cultivation threshold and difficulty of tree box copyrighted asterisk asterisk stamina technique asterisk asterisk and the deadly risk of unauthorized cultivation, doesn't he fear that? The master still stood proudly, not giving any orders. He spoke up. Master, should we take Truong Tree Bok to the med bay? She's stuck on the wall and can't get down. No reply came, making him worry as he called back. Master? Suddenly, Don Qian's face twisted into a dog's snarl, shocking him. Master, why did you suddenly turn into a dog? The man grinned slyly. Student, do you dare ask who your master really is? He signaled with his hand. Master, come closer. Following his dog instincts, Don Qian stepped closer. He leaned into the man's hand and said two words that made Don Qian turn pale. Dragon King. Meanwhile, Sis Bok had woken up in the med bay, her swollen cheeks burning with anger as she cursed. That bastard. Suddenly, a voice echoed, surprising Sis Bok. That bastard looks so familiar. At that moment, Hắc Hân's image appeared on the iPad screen. Sis Thien stared at it thoughtfully. How can they look so alike? Sis Bok asked. Bro, second brother, do you know him? The grumpy guy replied. Kinda. Sis Thien worried. But he shouldn't have survived. Could that brutal Dragon King have spared him? Then he turned to his younger brother. Sis Bok. The next test is chemistry, right? What's the focus? Sis Bok, with a bruised cheek, struggled to answer. Poison making and toxicity testing. Hearing this, his eyes gleamed mischievously. Well then, this just got interesting. Scene shifts to the junkyard filled with cars. Hắc Hân crushed dozens of cars with a single force, finishing his cultivation of the steel technique. Standing on top, he reported to the person below. Boss, all the junk cars are crushed. The man immediately pulled out his phone. Good, the payment's been sent to your phone. Hắc Hân checked his phone balance. This boss is thrifty, didn't buy a car crusher machine. Not bad. Making money while cultivating, never missing a beat. The system notification popped up. Please quickly complete box cultivation. Steel technique finished 20 over 20 strikes. Waiting to complete million strikes 0 over 20. Annoyed, Hắc Hân thought. Million strikes? Who am I going to fight tonight? Suddenly, a voice from behind startled him. It was Hắc Hân himself, but he immediately denied it. Not me, wrong person. I'm Don Qian. Don Qian was sneezing while working. He sniffled, blaming. Weird, I got sick despite all the hard work. The other person didn't buy it and cut straight to the chase. Stop pretending. The man was Hắc Hân. I'm here under Chapter Thu's orders to teach you a lesson. Turns out he was Chapter Tree Huyen, a ninth realm spirit guide. Hắc Hân wasn't scared at all, mocking him up close. Say that sooner. I thought you were here to collect a debt. Bring it on. Tree Huyen was worried by his attitude. My cultivation is way higher, so why isn't he scared? Using his spirit technique to check. He was barely a beginner spirit guide. Could he be hiding his true power? A high schooler this strong? Feeling insulted, he threw a punch, a threatening blow. Hắc Hân didn't dodge and was sent flying dozens of meters away. Seeing him unconscious, Tree Huyen jumped in to strike again. But it was all an act. He barely threw the punch before running out of energy. Hắc Hân was fine, eyes sharp, taunting. Come on, put some muscle into it. Boom echoed from the mountain behind the trees. Hắc Hân and Tree Huyen were locked in a fierce battle. He landed a heavy punch to Hắc Hân's face, throwing him off balance. Before Hắc Hân could react, he jumped and spun, delivering a powerful kick to the back of his head. Hắc Hân's head slammed hard onto the rocky ground, likely causing serious damage. Yet, Tree Huyen was the one confused. What the hell? He's the one getting hit. His aura weakened, but he showed no sign of weakness. Then he moved his hands, preparing a finishing move. This ends now. Triple strike. A flurry of punches blasted straight at Hắc Hân, who was slammed backward by the overwhelming force. Hắc Hân's body crashed into a huge rock, denting it as debris and dust flew. He knelt down, exhausted, not uttering a word. Tree Huyen coldly approached, spat out blood in disgust. High schoolers nowadays are hopeless, acting tough when they're clearly weak. Despite the medical crosses appearing on Hắc Hân's body, a red aura surrounded him. Tree Huyen was stunned. This healing speed? Even a top-tier spirit guide healer can't do this. To stop his recovery and power, Tree Huyen decided to land one last strike. As his arm swung down to Hắc Hân's neck, a powerful aura burst forth. Hắc Hân smiled weirdly as a notification popped up. Took 20 over 20 hits. Steel technique cultivation fully replenished. 1 second later, his gaze shifted, filled with deadly intent. Hắc Hân reached out to restrain one of his hands, while his other hand gathered power into a blood-red sphere called the Black Bright Thunderheart. His sharp eyes quickly launched the sphere straight at Chi Huien's stomach. However, Chi Huien easily blocked it with one hand, mocking, "I can catch beginner-level spells like this with one hand." Without wasting time, Hắc Hân launched the sphere again, then pulled back his hand, summoning a surge of golden energy. "Then take this," he shouted, unleashing the steel-forged 100 refinements. This time, Hắc Hân counterattacked, slamming a strong palm into Chi Huien's stomach, making him truly feel the pain from before. The force was so strong that Chi Huien flew back farther than Hắc Hân. Chi Huien crashed hard, smashing through a large wooden tree trunk. Of course, that wasn't enough to take him down. His hand slammed into the ground to stop his fall. He coughed up fake blood with difficulty, gritting his teeth as he raised a hand to his mouth, trying to regulate his chi to stay alive. Most of his internal channels were torn apart. His situation was critical. Chi Huien had no choice but to retreat. A high schooler with an entry-level spirit realm could force him to use his chi to heal once he recovered. He'd be crushed like an old man. Suddenly, a pinkish-red light shone on half his face. Excited, Chi Huien saw the sphere from before appear right beside him and panicked, shouting, "Why is this thunder still on my hand?" He wildly tried to shake it off, but the light grew stronger. He was about to soil himself, truly terrified and frantic, unable to throw it away. 1 second later, the sphere exploded, the blast lighting up the whole forest. As the smoke cleared, Chi Huien was reduced to tiny fragments drifting in the air, his dark glasses clattering to the ground. Hắc Hân casually picked them up and put them on, joking, "Whoa, unexpected loot." On the ranking board, Hắc Hân's name stood at number 18. Sister Bach Nianjiang glared at the announcement, jealous and annoyed. This guy's rank is climbing way too fast. Meanwhile, Han Nuk looked toward the hallway where Hắc Hân stood, realizing the kid had killed the fighter he was supposed to face. At that moment, a female classmate beside him expressed admiration. "Hắc Hân, your progress is insane. Can you share your secret? I'll trade you 5 core pills." The classmates outside the classroom whispered, "Cao Van Beek Tree is already overwhelmed by the smell and still bullying others without shame. Usually, trading 5 core pills means you're after something good." Shortly after, class began, and the teacher stood at the podium. Thon Nan tied up her pink hair, put on gloves, and addressed the class. "Today's chemistry test will show your skill in poison crafting and detection. When you step into dangerous jobs later, you'll inevitably face pranks from colleagues, subordinates, bosses, and rivals. Teacher Lu Tom reminds you. If you don't want to suddenly drop dead on the job, you must give it your all in this exam." Thon Nan pointed to the tray of food on Hắc Hân's desk as the test prompt. Each student received a sample dish before the test ended and had to identify the poisonous one. The non-poisonous items could be eaten. Final scores depended on detection speed and accuracy, with bonus points for naming the poison. Sister Bosch smiled smugly toward his desk, satisfied with her scheme. "All those dishes belong to my second bro's target. He didn't even wait to step into a dangerous job. He's dying right here today," Han confidently said. "Putting so many strong smells together to poison by scent? No way, it's pointless. If you try other detection methods, our poisons have been disguised many times. The family's poison masters don't just eat rice. Not even the chemistry teacher can be sure to detect them." Everyone eyed the dishes, thinking, asterisk. Finally, my specialty. Asterisk. Ngofi also started testing to find the safe food. Van Thu focused, using magic to check. Seeing her precise moves, Thon Yan silently praised. Van Thu's poison detection is still top-notch. She stepped forward, noticing Hắc Hân hadn't moved, and asked, "Hey, everyone else is showing their powers. Why are you just standing there?" Sister Ba kept an eye on Hắc Hân's subtle smile and chuckled wickedly, pleased. What can he do now? He doesn't even know which to pick. Either way, he's dead. On a high cliff, a fishing rod dangled its line below. Thunlong sat with crossed legs, sighing in boredom. After ascending to godhood, he got so bored he could only fish. Suddenly, his face darkened, and blood gushed from the 7 holes on his face. Back in class 5 minutes earlier, Hắc Hân was grabbing all the food on his desk and shoveling it into his mouth at lightning speed. Thon Nan looked at him, puzzled and a bit embarrassed, asking, "You've already eaten all that? What are you doing? Don't you know you might die?" Thinking her students were a bit slow, she sighed helplessly and explained. Luckily, she had anticipated idiots like him and strictly controlled the food amount, so no one would die but he should be ready for diarrhea. Meanwhile, Sisbach was grinning wickedly, feeling like she'd hit the jackpot, thinking, every type of food had poison mixed in, this time enough to kill someone 5 times over, dumbass. Suddenly, Hắc Hân started turning purple, blood dripping from the 7 holes on his face, eyes wide open, pupils frozen. Thon Nan immediately sensed something was wrong, then he collapsed to the ground, motionless. Miss Hoang panicked and shouted, "Classmate, Thon Nhan knelt beside Hak Hân, checked his pulse at the neck, then blurted out, "He's dead." As soon as Hou Ni finished speaking, the whole class erupted in chatter. Dead. Damn. This'll be front page news tomorrow. Front page? The dead guy's not from the Big Bro sect, nor a top student. Sudden deaths among seniors happen every year, nothing major. A chill ran down Thon Nhan's face like rain, worried. We're screwed. This will definitely mess with the career evaluation. Who the hell dares to sabotage my exam? Nhi suspected, trying to find a lead. Could it be that gym teacher? The impact on the evaluation was huge, and she was seriously suspicious. But suddenly, somehow, Hak Hân sat up, looking fully recovered, no issues at all. He wiped his nose and quietly said, "Sis." Thon Nhan jumped back in shock, terrified. You're alive?" Her mind went haywire. This was the first time something like this happened since she started teaching. Fake death or resurrection? Are students' magic these days really that convincing? He ignored her reaction and raised his hand to explain the answer. All 5 types of food can be identified as Trung Tan. Then, red blood letters appeared on his other hand, Ngu Bordian. Hak Hân concluded. The last one is the supreme poison. No need to ask how shocked Sisbok was. She looked at him incredulously. This can't be right, can it? He reviewed every detail to make sure he wasn't wrong. To be certain, they especially searched for a poison master at the Sex Foundation establishment realm. His background had already been investigated like a blank sheet of paper. How did a nobody like him survive a poison from a Foundation establishment master? Finally, class ended. At home, Thon Nhan used magic to analyze. The sample on the plate was from today's lunch. She retracted her magic, piecing things together. The blood sample from Hak Hân was fully analyzed. Every answer was correct. This wasn't the gym teacher's poison. A simple-minded chi user could have taken him down, but this was poison from a Foundation establishment master, and it took her half the night to analyze. A question popped into her head. Has Trongmin been invaded by monsters? Meanwhile, at the city library, Hak Hân stood before the bookshelf, slightly surprised. Didn't expect this way of communication. Shenlong was soaking in the bathtub at home, lazily looking and gesturing. This is your bloodline's forbidden charm. Thought you didn't know this method was enough. 3 horizontal bloodlines appeared on his hand. He instructed, "Our blood is linked. Later we can use this for emergency contact." He grabbed a brush and wrote on his left hand, muttering, "This secret exchange method is painful. Don't immortals have higher-level communication than mortals?" He replied casually, "You think being an immortal is all freedom? We're humanity's walking nuclear strategy. Every move, every action is monitored by the Immortal Palace. I once crossed down without permission. If I randomly contacted humans again and got caught, the Immortal Palace would have a problem with me." While drawing on his hand, he asked, "So can you tell me where to get the ultimate treasure?" Shenlong looked at his glowing palm, smirking slyly. "Everything I can reveal is already in the technique manual I gave you. Just follow the clues." Suddenly, drops of blood fell. A voice shouted, "Hey!" Van Thu, working at the library, hands on hips, reminded, "I get the pressure you high schoolers face, but don't hurt yourselves in the library, okay? Do I have to clean up the bloodstains later?" Hak Hân calmly explained, "Sorry about that. I'll clean it up myself. Actually, I wanted to ask about some books." She asked, "What kind of books?" He straightforwardly said, "I'm a senior now. If I want to push for Foundation establishment realm, any good tutoring books you recommend?" Van Thu was a bit surprised. "The college entrance exam is still a year away, and you're already gearing up for Foundation establishment?" Hak Hân scratched his head, puzzled. "Is Foundation establishment really that hard?" Van Thu shrugged, confused. "Are you really a 12th grader? Your taste is kinda off. Usually, people only break through Foundation establishment during the college exam. One book's a sure bet. If you can break through Foundation establishment now, you might as well apply for direct admission." She grabbed a few books from the shelf, saying, "Students these days are all talk, no skill." Van Thu held up 3 dirty books in front of him and introduced, "These are the top 3 bestsellers in the store. Just reading through these is already pretty good, at least." Before she finished, another book was slammed hard onto the table. Hak Hân looked straight into her eyes and decisively said, "This one." She sighed helplessly and swiped the card. "You never listen to advice anyway, your call." As soon as the payment was done, he immediately opened the book. Van Thu silently thought, "This book is so confusing," yet he flipped straight to the last page. That's not just high expectations. That's someone who's truly mastered the art. This guy's beyond saving. She didn't bother reading the lines in the book. Using the chi condensation technique requires satisfying 10 levels of chi or physical training. It also needs condensation pills to support breakthroughs. but this process can cause severe injuries due to chi bursts in the body. Therefore, a large amount of top-grade healing pills and restorative elixirs are needed, not to mention the huge cost of materials and money. There's even a risk of sudden death during chi condensation. Why do I have to think about this? Got it. I just need to prepare the condensation pills. Late at night, in a guarded villa, a shout rang out. "What the hell are you doing?" Sister Bach sat arrogantly on the sofa, interrogating her subordinate. While a master at the Lone Chi realm was present, even a high schooler using poison wouldn't die. Haddock knelt on the ground, too scared to look up. Sister Bach calmed down a bit. "Something definitely went wrong in here. Please, give me one more chance. I swear I'll make sure he dies a gruesome death." Sister Bach sneered but relented, warning, "He's already ranked 10th in the class. I won't tolerate such a thorn in my side. You've got one more week if you can't kill him. Bring your head to me." Suddenly, he noticed something above and looked up. Suddenly, Hắc Hân appeared, sword in hand, bursting through the wall from the ceiling, pointing the blade straight at him. Outside on the balcony, the guard kept patrolling patiently, shining his flashlight everywhere. While moving, he suddenly smelled a teammate lying motionless on the ground. Seeing the fallen comrade, he immediately realized there was an intruder and had to report it. Just as he raised his radio to his mouth, he managed to utter a sound. But before he could say more, a strong blow hit the back of his neck, making him dizzy. He finally collapsed, leaving the shadowy figure outside to quietly slip inside without any resistance. From there, they wiped out the rest. Hắc Hân crouched, searching for the source of a sound. Giving you one more week. If you still can't fix him, bring your head to me." After pinpointing the direction, he swung his arm high, releasing a surge of power. Then he smashed through the wall, startling those below with the loud crash. Hắc Hân gripped his sword tightly, sharp aura flaring, and charged straight at his opponent. The cold steel sliced through the air, piercing through a chair and embedding deep into the enemy. Feeling the icy blade pierce his shoulder, Chibok gritted his teeth in pain. Immediately, he channeled power from his other hand and unleashed a powerful blast. Seeing this, Hắc Hân quickly sheathed his sword and countered with a strong strike. The fierce clash exploded like a wave, sending him flying backward. Chibok's body slammed hard into the wall, scattering chunks of stone everywhere. Not stopping there, a sudden volley of needles flew from the side, aiming to ambush Hắc Hân. But for him, those were nothing. One hand easily swatted them all away. Suddenly, a chilling danger rushed in, making him glance back warily. With sharp reflexes, Hắc Hân blocked the attack from Haddock just in time. But at that moment, Haddock immediately pressed a button on his cold weapon's surface. Instantly, a thin steel blade shot out like a razor, aiming straight for Hắc Hân's eyes. Luckily, Hắc Hân's head snapped away just in time to dodge the sneak attack. Haddock quickly seized the chance to leap back, creating safe distance. He glared at Hắc Hân and cursed, "You're that 12th grader, right? Last time, you got lucky not to get poisoned by me. I was looking for you, but you just walked right to my door." Haddock placed a poison needle on his shoulder, eyes cold and threatening. That needle was coated with something special, not some kid's tricks like you saw in the exam. This time, I'm using a secret family poison. Its toxicity blows those old tricks out of the water, kid. Just wait to meet your ancestors. But Hắc Hân didn't even bother, just brushed past him casually. Seeing that, Haddock was dumbfounded and suspicious, eyes wide with disbelief. What's that supposed to mean? In the next moment, Hắc Hân's figure vanished into thin air like he never existed. Chibok clutched his wound, gritting his teeth as he stared at the chaotic scene. Suddenly, Hắc Hân appeared right in front of him, sword gleaming as it lunged like the wind. Chibok tilted his head just in time to dodge the blade, then kept retreating to avoid Hắc Hân's relentless slashes. But that dangerous premonition flared up again, making him glare with caution. Sharp needles sliced through the air, piercing them Hắc Hân. Haddock gritted his teeth, gripping his weapon with bitter rage. Ignored mid-sentence, he was furious, daring to disrespect me? Yet inside, he was completely shaken. With my potent toxin, he should have already been dead. So how was he still standing? At the same time, the shattered Buddha statue exploded outward from the void. Haddock clenched his arm, unleashing all his strength to fire a hidden dart, shouting, "Don't run out of blood. I'm covering you with my toxic needles." Hearing this, Tribok immediately seized the opening to escape. Moving like a bullet, he smashed through the glass and dashed outside in an instant. To end this fight fast, Haddock curled 4 fingers and released his power. "No time to play with you. Let me show you the true terror of the Ngung Chan realm. Toxic needle technique." Instantly, all the needles on the wall sprayed out waves of greenish gas. Hắc Hân was engulfed in the thick poisonous mist, coughing violently. This fog was even fiercer than the earlier poison needles. In moments, the deadly toxin spread through his body, veins on his face and limbs bulging grotesquely. At that instant, he collapsed onto the cold ground, motionless like a lifeless stone. Haddock slowly approached, bursting into a triumphant laugh as if victory was in his grasp. Seeing Hắc Hân lying there powerless, he sneered with satisfaction. Thought you were really immune to all poisons, but you couldn't handle my final strike. Meanwhile, the cracked Buddha statue split completely in two. Then suddenly, Hắc Hân's eyes snapped open, glowing blood red with a strange clarity. Next, he quickly grabbed the sword beside him, and without hesitation swung a deadly strike at Haddock, watching the clay double shatter instantly. Ever since using the clay body to take hits, he no longer had to be covered in blood daily. The dragon spirit in human form sighed at the situation, two of his summons already lost. Looks like this time he's facing a tough opponent. Then, he gently waved his hand and began casting a spell, as if gathering something before him. Turns out it was just a simple wave, successfully showing the scene of Hắc Hân counterattacking Haddock. Even though Haddock's eyes were wide with disbelief, he had no choice. I'm from the Ingung Chan realm, yet I lost to someone only at the Dan Lin realm. Finally, Haddock's breath stopped, and he collapsed right there. To be sure, Hắc Hân tested his pulse, no movement, heartbeat gone. Satisfied with the result, he moved on to the next priority. Grab the loot fast, and if it's useless, at least sell it for some cash. Meanwhile, not far from the battle, Chi-Bek had already fled, stopping to catch his breath. He was both exhausted and furious. Damn it, forgot my phone. Gotta stop a car later and borrow one to call reinforcements. With eyes full of hatred, Chi-Bek hissed through clenched teeth. Once I finish training my family's assassins, I won't just wreck you, I'll wipe out your whole family. Unfortunately, before he could finish, Hắc Hân appeared like a demon demanding his soul. Who do you want to kill? The sharp blades sliced through the air, lowering his gun with a deadly speed, leaving only afterimages. But Chi-Bek was lucky his experience kicked in, and he raised his hand to block, his body like tempered steel. Though still hit hard and falling flat, he survived and kept a safe distance from Hắc Hân. Before Chi-Bek could recover, the energy orb Hắc Hân gathered flew straight at him. It exploded, shaking the area like a disaster. Without any protective barrier, the shockwave sent him flying far away, crashing down like a meteor strike. Of course, Hắc Hân didn't miss this chance and charged again with his sharp weapon. Gotta give it to Chi-Bek's brain still trying to turn the tide. Wait, I'm the third young master of the Chuang family. You can't. Too bad Hắc Hân wasn't one to listen to villains ramble, so his sword sliced through effortlessly. With one decisive move, he severed Chi-Bek's head, his words dripping with indifference and contempt. If it weren't for the Dragon King taking all the damage for me, I'd probably be dead several times over by now. Almost dying and still talking? Just empty threats to scare people. Facing Chi-Bek turned living torch, Hắc Hân was sure that even if he burned him to ashes today, the Chuang family would link Chi-Bek's death to him, proof or no proof. Feeling the energy from the item in his hand, he was somewhat satisfied, though revenge wasn't really on his side. Even in a rush, he managed to snag a few valuable things. Just the times Ing Chan Dan times alone had 3 pills, funny enough. His older brother had to offer a sacrifice to the Dragon King just to get one. Looks like the relationships among the descendants of the major sects are pretty messy, with quite a bit of gold, silver, and jewels. After subtracting the crafted weapons, he planned to sell all this stuff later. But surprisingly, when Hắc Hân joked about it, a notification popped up about discovering a selling keyword. Looks like you'll love the trading system. Seeing that, the guy got hyped watching the screen. Ever since he learned the proactive technique, these inventory frames like a system kept popping up one by one. That rotten dragon must have set this up. It's legit like some e-commerce platform, even with a "you might like this" section. Then suddenly, he remembered something awful, his face turning pale as he cursed out loud. He'd have to clear his search history the moment he got home. After that, he stopped caring and happily spun the wheel to find the right category. As soon as he saw the sell button, he clicked it, and a flood of item info appeared. Motion scope, massive blade, poison, coated lotus needle. The gold bars and other junk were all sold, and your personal account just got about 1,054,178 yuan. Next, Hắc Hân was already on the move to shop. Turns out the Times Kai Thiendao Times was priced at a whopping 1 million yuan. Sweat was pouring off my forehead and neck like rain at that sky-high price. Damn. I just sold stuff worth barely 1 million, and this top-tier blade is listed at 1 million alone? I remember weapons of the same grade outside were way cheaper. So OP. After saying that, he glanced away and bluntly added, "It's not that it's too expensive to buy, it's just not worth the cash. Let's check out something else." Next up was a 50,000 yuan armor pant, durable and tear-resistant, with 2 side pockets that could hold tons of stuff. This one actually satisfied Hắc Hân. It was practical, so he spent 100,000 yuan, leaving about 950,000 yuan. But he didn't stop there. Barely had he gotten the money when he kept buying premium blood chi for 600,000 yuan, bleeding more and more. The attack power increased, then came the times Tert Nyan Mir, Dong times boosting vision by 50%, helping him spot fast-moving objects easily. Also, a 100,000 yuan bulletproof t-shirt, tougher than his own skin, no worries about tearing in fights. Finally, the times Chow Deer times shoes for 200,000 yuan, with soles that grip insanely well when powered by chi, they stick to surfaces, with adhesion depending on your realm. In the end, Hắc Hân spent 950,000 yuan, leaving about 5,000 yuan. As a true man, he'd been drained dry by this trading app, left with nothing but tears. Little did he know, the divine dragon nearby was grinning wildly, clearly enjoying himself. The Dragon King snorted coldly and teased, "Thought I couldn't kill you, kid? How dare you put a blood curse on me?" Suddenly, a voice caught his attention. "Lord Dragon King." The cat spirit quickly reported the intel it just gathered. There's already a clue on how to break that human's blood curse. Moments later, both stood before the magic formation the cat spirit was casting. It slowly listed all the details, even from Hắc Hân's past life. Damn, his bloodline isn't anything special. His ancestors could only place blood curses on low-level beasts, and those beasts simply can't handle the damage transferred from the host. So, Han's ancestors died in low-level battles for generations, and no sect ever respected their lineage. They had zero reputation among humans. The problem with the divine dragon's curse is singular, so what gave him the guts to put a blood curse on me? I'm a god, the Dragon King. From various signs, the cat spirit guessed that when he descended to the mortal realm, the restrictions from the celestial emperor crushed his lower body. Plus, that kid's desperate will to survive pushed the blood curse's limit beyond the threshold. Facing the forming magic array, it analyzed that Han's blood curse was still limited by his own realm, at least times Dernlin Kane asterisk. The blood he could siphon from the Dragon King's total blood volume was just a tiny fraction. Once that ran out, Han would still die. Suddenly, something happened, and the cat spirit's eyes lit up. It was time. The Birth Dragon King stepped into the center of the magic formation. The divine dragon didn't hesitate, walking straight in despite the black lightning striking down. Instantly, his body was lifted amid excruciating pain. The red thread stretched out with his agonized scream, visible to the naked eye. It led straight to an unlit room in a high-rise building. Of course, it wasn't anyone else but the source of all this, Hắc Hân, drunk and passed out on a soft bed, because he was lost deep in a dream, completely unaware of the changes happening in the outside world. As for the dragon god, after sensing the shift, he was surprised but quickly composed himself with a calm expression. This blood curse has now clearly materialized. The awakened chi focused on his slender fingers. He showed no hesitation in deciding to sever this thread. However, someone interrupted the dragon god's ritual. His sharp, impatient gaze swept over as he asked, "Who's there?" A strange shadow respectfully announced, "Lord Dragon King, I am the messenger. The general has an invitation for you." The beloved cat was genuinely surprised. No messenger talisman, sending a messenger in person. The dragon god quickly confirmed this was definitely bad news. He slowly stepped into the hall. At that moment, his gaze stopped at the seat of power. Suddenly, a voice rang out, catching the dragon god's attention. "Want to sit there?" The long-haired man gradually appeared. His face was cold as ice, his words half joking. "The late emperor hasn't appeared for years. Just in case, you might as well try sitting there." Seeing that attitude, the dragon god couldn't help but snap back. "Everyone knows I'm the one who wants that seat the most. Why waste time scheming with me? Cut the crap, what do you want?" The long-haired man remained calm, nostalgically saying, "You're still as impatient as ever." Then he got serious. "I'm here to tell you your application for promotion to High Immortal hasn't been approved yet." The dragon god's anger flared up, firing off countless questions. "Why? Didn't I abandon my territory and subordinates before? Didn't I agree to join the Immortal sect for 100 years to get promoted to High Immortal?" The long-haired man didn't interrupt, waiting a moment before explaining. Times have changed. Now, many junior immortals apply to become High Immortals. If they approved you based on a 100-year-old promise, others wouldn't accept it. I advise you to build more merits and improve your cultivation. Maybe next time. Saying I disappeared, he had no choice. Too hasty, didn't even finish talking before I left. Outside, the beloved cat was waiting when it heard a strange signal from the sky. Already back? A surge of power shot down, revealing the dragon god's fierce form, moving wildly like a storm. It sensed something bad, pupils dilated in fear. This is bad, the Dragon King's already pissed off. Probably the spot he aimed for was near that cliff. Meanwhile, a bright light burst from the forest, accompanied by rustling sounds. It seemed affected. Thick dust covered the area, leaves scattered everywhere. A shadowy figure appeared through the haze, eyes wide and fierce. Black Ember's power surged from head to toe, absorbing all info. He temporarily activated the breakthrough stage, boosting physical strength, magic limits, life points, spirit, comprehension, and unlocked limited magical tools and materials for this stage. He looked up, reading everything carefully, then curiously wondered, did I just finish meeting all the essential breakthrough stage requirements? 1 top-grade pill, 10 top-grade base pills, 3 top-grade spirit herbs, 10 levels of spirit realm done? Black Ember waved his hand, smiling, feeling way easier than expected. Suddenly, the next info made him sweat and panic. Complete the mission carrying the original blood ice, clear the secret stage within the time limit, after which, the system will deduct 30% cultivation and 30% merit as interest. If the breakthrough stage time limit is exceeded, compound interest applies. What a terrible mouth, but the spirit beast kept quiet. Suddenly, he noticed something, glanced down. A magic circle formed beneath him. Black Ember understood but was still confused. Wait, no prep time at all? Instantly, he teleported to an unsupported spot, countdown 19 minutes 59 seconds. Naturally, Black Ember fell from a great height at breakneck speed, super intense. Plus, difficulty ramped up, with iron spikes appearing non-stop. Eyes wide in shock, then calming down, Black Ember parted ways to cast spells. His feet quickly stomped to break the wall. He dodged iron spikes with all his might while trying not to pass out. Almost there, he hoped he'd hit the sharp orb soon. Black Ember glanced at it, breathing a sigh of relief. Too dangerous, my endurance has limits. Even with a tough body, injuries still hurt. Plus, no clue when the blood ice will kick in. Better avoid damage if possible. Suddenly, a huge iron rod was hurled toward Black Ember. His pupils widened as the massive object approached. No choice, he had to brace his legs for the rod to pass through. He landed with difficulty, countless obstacles appearing non-stop. Ahead was something that looked like a hand fixed in place, blocking the path. Hắc Hân didn't bother to observe, just swung his axe in a smooth, deadly arc. He felt every change in his body, surprised as his speed and reaction power had skyrocketed. This blade isn't a weapon for cutting metal, but after activating some technique, it could still slice through a stone arm thicker than a waist. That's the perk of leveling up basic thinking. Breaking free from doubt, he calmly analyzed the light beneath his feet. In his focus, stacks of long rods piled up insanely high, doubled, tripled beyond belief. Hắc Hân started running before getting hit. Suddenly, a massive hand blocked his escape. The iron-hard arm pushed inward, palm stopping his steps, attacking from both front and back. Thinking it through, Hắc Hân clenched his fists, summoning a cursed orb, and unleashed the Thunder Fist. The place was chaos now, everything flying everywhere. Strangely, many huge monsters slowly floated up from the rigid stone layer. They were massive, armed and ready to cause trouble. Hắc Hân urgently said, "I'm in a rush, no time to mess with you guys." But before he finished, he was hit so hard he couldn't react, bleeding out. Severely wounded, he collapsed in pain. That's the end of the video. If you liked it, drop a like to support me. Thanks and see you next time.